Everything comes at a cost. Everything requires a price to be paid. And once you understand who you are in God, once you understand who God has called you to be, you'll understand that you can't afford certain things. You cannot afford to be emotionally immature. You cannot afford to be dibbling and dabbling in the same things that's had you stuck for years. You cannot afford to still be clipped up and tricked by the enemy in ways that you have been for the past years. You cannot afford to still be struggling in your thoughts. You cannot afford to still be struggling mentally, spiritually, emotionally. You cannot afford. Why? Because everything comes at a cost. Your life comes at a cost. Heaven has things stored up for you. You have purpose in heaven. You have things that you need to fulfill on the earth through God's will. You have things to get to. You have stuff set aside for you. And if you continue to play with the same things, if you continue to remain stuck in the same things, you are putting your stuff on the line. You are putting the things that God has reserved for you on the line. You are putting the wealth that God has reserved for you on the line when you continue to play small, when you continue to play and dibble and dabble in the same things that has had you stuck. Everything comes at a cost. There is a price to pay. There is a spiritual war going on. You cannot afford to be distracted. You cannot afford to be confused. You cannot afford to continue to make decisions that do not align with the will of God. You cannot afford to not be walking in authority. You cannot afford it. Your soul is on the line. Your purpose is on the line. The things that God has for you, your family, your bloodline is on the line. Either you're serious about it or you're not. We can make it really simple. Either you're serious about it or you're not. Either you want everything that is in the will of God or you don't. There's no more playing small. There's no more teeter-tottering in the middle. There's no more, oh, maybe this or maybe that. There's no more struggling with doubt. There's no more struggling with confusion. Pick a side. Either you want everything that is in alignment in the will of God or you do not. You cannot afford to lose in this season. You cannot afford to settle in this season. You cannot afford to be distracted in this season. Your purpose is on the line.